Have you been thinking about retirement and do you have the retirement mindset? Really, what does that even mean? That's what this short video is all about. Hi, I'm John S. Rhodes of the Rhodes Brothers, and I quit a six-figure, high-paying, high-prestige job so that I could create videos and so that the Rhodes Brothers could deliver products and services to you. This is a free training on behalf of the Rhodes Brothers. Let's dive into the retirement mindset. This, of course, is greater wealth through mastery. All right, so we're going to cover 5 aspects of the retirement mindset. And the very first one is you want to be thinking about, you want to dwell upon, you want to even write down those things that make you happy. And we are specifically talking about being happy. What puts a smile on your face? What brings you joy? It can be everything from, the grandkids to working in the garden to working on a book that you want to publish. It could be volunteering, but those things that bring you joy, that make you happy. And I would qualify that by saying it's even better if you have some passion, like actual drive and passion to do these things over a long period of time, like you've done it for years. Related to that, I would think about and really dwell upon what gives you contentment, what satisfies you, what activities do you do right now that when you're done doing them, you feel invigorated, you feel alive, you feel wonderful. Now, you might be also thinking about places that you've been, vacations that you've taken. That's perfectly reasonable. Again, this is about the retirement mindset. This is about getting your mind in the right place, which is a factor, a combination of two things. Obviously, the rational mind, where you can write these things down and, get them all exactly right, very precise bullet points. You can get this written down, rational mind. But there is the strong emotional component as well that is of the greatest importance. So it really needs to be both, something you can write about, think about, talk about. Maybe you are in some groups already. Maybe you're already volunteering. Maybe you jump into various forums. Maybe you find yourself in groups online, social media, or offline, just to clarify that. So that's the first thing. The second thing is plan your days. If nothing else, plan how to plan. And what I mean by that is if you don't keep a calendar, maybe you want to start keeping a calendar. If at work you use a calendar, well, you can use that in retirement or to plan for retirement. That doesn't mean you use a calendar just to say, here's the date when I'm retiring, but instead I'm talking about, getting like a desk calendar, possibly, and then putting things onto that desk calendar that you can look forward to, not just this week or this month, but the entire year. I would literally grab a desk calendar and write things on there that you would like to achieve, that you would like to do, that you would like to experience. It can be with people, it can be with family and friends, it could be with a group. It could be with, more than one person that you're in a group with, like a hobby kind of thing. Maybe it's like I don't know, a whitewater rafting trip. It might be, a road rally in a car or cars. A bunch of you go somewhere. It might be that you're an enthusiast in other ways, maybe golfing. It might be something like gardening, great example. It could be anything like that. And then get those big rocks, get the big rocks onto the calendar as soon as you can and as far ahead as you can as well. Because what you'll find in retirement, with the retirement mindset, is that when you have things planned out and the bigger they are, the more you think about them and dwell on them, but not in a bad way, in a good way, because they energize you. They give you a reason to go on. They motivate you. Those things that are big, huge, that are crazy in your future, you're able to plan even more. In other words, plan the plan for going, but also plan the details leading up to you going. It might be financial planning, it might be, personal planning with other people and doing things, coordinating, in other words. It could be actually planning the sightseeing out. It could be the details of the trip itself once you end at that location. Or it could be that you plan to get the references and resources. Let's say it's gardening again as an example. Maybe you need to read a few books before you take action on the new raised bed vegetable garden that you're going to be working on. But you get the point. There's plenty of examples you can think of, but the idea is to plan your days, your weeks, your months, and really the whole year. Plan out 6 months, 12 months, or even further than that. And you'll find that that energizes you, especially since it's for retirement, for the sake of you and yours, your family, those around you, other people. And that social web, that social connection really comes to life if you have a calendar at your disposal and you've been planning. You can plan other ways, of course, as well. You can journal these things out. You can, jump on phone calls with people or FaceTime, whatever it is that you use to communicate with people, and you can have some really great chats as well about what you're going to do. Really, really fun stuff there. The third item is keeping your body and mind active. I talked about the rational mind and I talked about the emotions, right? How the feelings and the serotonin and dopamine and how that's rushing through your body. You want to feel good, you want to look good as well. But importantly, in order to do many of the things that you want to do, you need to be healthy. You need to be able to move, because if you stop moving, you will stop growing. It's very difficult to grow in retirement, improve on retirement. And yes, you should plan on retirement getting better and better and better. Like the winnings keep stacking, because once you have one great experience, you can add on another great experience and then, fold those together. Hey, remember when you talk to someone, you can have stories. That thing that we did, wasn't that awesome last year when right? So you're telling stories to yourself, you're telling stories to other people, and stories are how we make ourselves. It's how we understand ourselves. It's how we build ourselves. And that's why the growth component of it is so important. And that's why we go back to the body and we go back to the mind being active. I think I mentioned that puzzle solving, actually solving puzzles, is very, very good for you and for your mind. So yes, crossword puzzles and Sudoku and so forth, those kinds of puzzles and things, even some video games, a few at least, can do wonders. And you can also even take like a class at a local college, for example. So there's things that you can do to keep your mind active, keep your body active, but you need to keep moving and you need to have that forward motion, the forward action. You'll be so happy that you have been able to do that, because it is about the retirement mindset of being healthier and actually possibly even wealthier over time as a result of you taking the right actions. And really, that starts today. It starts now. It doesn't matter if you're in retirement yet or not, right? Either way, you are looking at what makes sense going forward, whether it's tomorrow or whether it's 5 or 10 years from now or even further. All right, the next item, number 4, is staying connected. Staying connected. The importance of staying connected is with friends and family. One of the horror stories I hear over and over is that people think that they have a great social network, and then they come to find out that they do not have a great social network, because the people that they've been spending all their time with are actually just coworkers and their acquaintances. They're not the real friends that we need in retirement, right? We need to have that social interaction. We need to have the ability to connect with other humans. We are social animals. It's very important to stay connected with other people. And the old adage of you are the sum, or maybe I should say you are the average of the 5 people that you are closest to. Now, I say the sum because you add up everything that they've got, everything that they've done, and divide by 5. But that's not quite true, is it? Because if Bob is a world traveler and Sally is, really awesome with her hands and crafting and, cooking and working in the garden, those are those are totally different skill sets and activities that you could tap into in retirement. So it's not really the average in that case. It really is the sum, or maybe even the multiplication of the skills and assets and energy and exuberance, right, of the people that you are closest to. And it's good to think about the 4 or 5 people that you are closest to. If you don't have many friends right now that you can really think of when it comes to retirement, the number one job in that respect is to figure out how to make new friends and get out there and make it happen one friend at a time. It can be challenging, it can be scary even, depending on who you are and what you're going after, but it is something that's very important because it pays you huge rewards in retirement, and it's part of having the right mindset and thinking about retirement. Okay, so the last item, and then I have a bonus for you, so stick with me, is learning how to enjoy every moment that you can. It's something of a Zen mindset or a Taoist kind of mindset. And the reason that that comes up is that a lot of what we do, at least in the United States, but many other countries as well, is it's, work, work, work for the sake of work, not for the sake of enjoyment, not for the sake of satisfaction, not for the sake of the joy and even thrill in some cases of retirement. So if you're in the work mindset, that's different than the retirement mindset, even though both are related to growth. Both can be related to wealth. We advise many people to start a side hustle or a side gig, or in other language, we might say, hey, start freelancing. Start something on the side where you can build value, create something, and then sell it to other people or offer it as a service. That is a brilliant move because it's like work. It might not be necessary, but it's always nice to have extra money, of course. And it also gives you something to work on and strive for. And if it's like a craft, you can continue to hone it and improve it over time. That's very beautiful. So what I'm getting at here is enjoying even the struggle of extra work if you're doing that into retirement. Now, the more that it's your choice and the more that it's based on freedom, the better off you're going to be. So continuously reach out looking for new tools, new techniques, new models, new mentors. You might know some people that can provide some of that to you. And you can go ahead right now and subscribe to the Rhodes Brothers channel so you can continue to get more great information like this. Now, I did promise a bonus, and this is huge, and I'm so glad that you're here because many people are going to miss this secret bonus. And what it comes down to is testing retirement. You can test retirement as a whole. You can test pieces and parts of retirement as well. And get a load of this. So what you can do is pick places that you would like to vacation, and then think about those places you'd like to vacation and treat them as places you're testing or trying out for where you might go and live during retirement. So you might be looking at literally, physically moving to that location, right, while you're enjoying some vacation. You might be like, hey, I'm going to be looking at this for a retirement location. The other thing you can do is when you're on vacation, you can be thinking about all the aspects of that location. And it could be things like the weather. It could be the economy. It could be your peers. It could be the various amenities that are available, right? Some people want to chill at the beach. Other people want to be up in the mountains at a cabin. Other people want the hustle and bustle and the insanity, but the energy as well of a city, for example. Those are 3 different, wildly different situations for where you might find yourself or where you might want to be in retirement. And so you can sort of craft that, you can visualize that much easier if you go and test the location out as one example. So that's testing locations for retirement, but doing it through vacations, right? So there's lots of ways of making that work. I'm sure your mind is working on how you could possibly do that with your family, by yourself. Lots of ways of doing that. Okay, another way to test is you can test a hobby. So if there's something that you haven't done, let's say it's target practice, maybe archery, maybe with a handgun, who knows, but you want to test out some kind of hobby related to weapons, right? Just for fun. Maybe you want to hunt. Who knows? It could be anything. There's lots of really, really cool stuff that you could be doing in that regard. Well, you can go and you can rent various equipment and then try it out. Let's say it's archery. You might rent a lane and a bow and a target, and you might get some instruction from a professional, and then you spend 2-3 hours doing a little bit of archery, and you can say yay or nay about archery being something that you want to do in retirement or not. You see how that works? You're just testing it out. You're just giving it a go. And you don't need to stay with it or keep up with it right then. You're just trying to decide, hey, am I going to do this in retirement or not? And then another thing you can do regarding testing, and this is a big one, obviously, because many of the things that you want to do, of course, in retirement are related to money. Clear and simple, obvious. So what you can do is say, here's the amount of money that I'm pretty sure I'm going to get, or maybe very sure I'm going to get or have in retirement. So we're talking about cash flow. So figure out what your monthly cash flow is in retirement, or what it ought to be in retirement based on whatever factors. And then what you can do is you can try to live on just that amount of money or less. That amount of money or less. So let's say, I'm going to make numbers up for fun. Let's say you make about $5,000 per month right now that you can just spend on whatever. Obviously, it's going to be things like rent or the mortgage or the car and the bills and everything else that life requires. But you've got 5,000 coming in, and then you spend it and or invest it in a variety of ways. Okay. But then you look and you say, hey, if I were to retire now or in the near future or even far in the future, it looks like my retirement cash flow stream will be about $3,500. So what you can try to do is you can sort of test that out as soon as possible. Test it out for a month and see if you can get by on $3,500 or less. So it's like deliberate frugality. You're deliberately cutting back to see exactly what it would be like not to work and only live on that amount of money that would be coming in from the various streams that you have set up, right? It could be various assets, it could be pension money, Social Security, whatever it might be a side job even. But the idea is try to live on the amount of cash flow that you expect in retirement as soon as you can to see, because usually it's lower than what you're making right now. Usually it's lower, not always. And then you can see exactly how that plays out. But the key is you can test and say, hey, I did it. I got to tell you, that gives you an awful lot of confidence. When you do that, you then know with certainty that you can get by on that amount of money. Obviously, inflation comes into play, and there's lots of variability and factors that can manipulate this, but it gives you an idea about how to adjust and how to think about retirement. I mean, this is the retirement mindset. If I have this much money coming in, I have to spend that much or less. Maybe you're not budgeting very well right now. This will help you in the here and now, even if retirement is 5, 10, 15 years ahead. The thinking, the retirement mindset in the here and now is still going to help you be better with your money, because anytime you're trying to do, more with less, the more efficient, the better you're going to be. You're going to find things that you didn't even know you could achieve in yourself, but also financially. You might even be doing something like an audit to see where the money is coming and going. I tell you, it gives you great clarity, and this is wonderful, thinking about retirement this way. Now, on the screen, you will be seeing a video pop up in any minute if it hasn't already. I encourage you to take a look at that, because that can help you with the breakthrough you've been looking for, specifically for retirement and making more money and related activities. So you can get a breakthrough from that. You might not see it quite yet or understand what I'm talking about, but you will definitely see it. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you have any comments, do yourself a favor and me a favor, my brother Matt Rhodes a favor. Leave a comment, because we read, even if we don't respond to every single comment, we do read every single comment. At a minimum, we read them, but we try to respond to as many as we can. Again, this is John S. Rhodes of the Rhodes Brothers, along with my brother Matt Rhodes. We appreciate you. This is Greater Wealth Through Mastery. And of course, we do really enjoy creating this material for you. And that's why in that next video, when you click over there, you'll see just how much joy and passion we have in delivering the goods to you. Thank you for your time. See you in the next video.